Hey, Shel Whitfield, I'm glad you're here. I am glad you're here for this discussion. Shel, I am. I heard what you had to say earlier, and I was very interested in what you had to say in its totality. Hey, distant lover. Hey, Robbie on the rails. Mimi 126. Hey, how you doing, love? You got to fight. Child, I don't know why they fighting Mimi. I don't know what in the world I had to do with this discussion today. But hey, truth never fails. But since my name was brought up into it, even though I haven't been live today, and since I was advised that this will be my content for tomorrow, I said, well, why wait until tomorrow? We can have the discussion now because it actually is a very good conversation. I just hate that personal other issues besides the topic were brought up, and I was like, well, perhaps if some people want to have the conversation, Kim 75, how you doing, hey, Miss O, and your cherry loves have my work day fly by. Thank you. Hey, season of the witch. And so, yeah, I hate that other discussions were brought up in a very important conversation, in my opinion. Hey, Miss Philadelphia. Now, I don't know all the details, guys, and perhaps you guys could maybe help fill me in on some of the lives that I've missed and the totality of the conversation. That's why I said this is an open panel discussion. So if anybody, wants, I'm going to start dropping a link in a little, but let me just preface this by saying, um, so I heard a little bit of the conversation that RonyiQ was having on Blessed Panel, and I hate that the conversation kept getting sidetracked into other things because it was a very good discussion. I think that a lot of points were being missed when it came to what Gigi was saying on the panel this morning, and I hope that Ronnie Q would join us because I think she started getting sidetracked. I think she had a very good point, as well as a couple of other people had a good point. And also I heard Jessica B bring up the conversation of colorism in the first place. Now the conversation, for what I understand, hell, I've been trying to take me a day off, but since my name was brought up in the conversation that I had nothing to do with, was beyond me. But okay. Okay, true black cheetah. Y'all know I don't mind popping on, right? So anyway, from what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, the conversation started. Jessica B came up, and she wanted to have a conversation about colorism, in the black community, in our own community, right? Now, why I got confused? Hey, Miss B. Hey, Candace Vonnie. Hey, Hood Chick. I got confused as to why Gigi was, on the panel having, being in a conversation when it pertained to colorism in the black community, especially because black people were talking about colorism in their own community. Like I was confused by that first off, you know, and it's just crazy. It was just weird to me, but that part, but yeah, it just went left from there, in my opinion. Shell said, I wish I didn't have a half day today. I'm exhausted from the mess, just wanting people to get along. No outsider should pull us apart. I absolutely agree with that. That's why I came live. Absolutely. That's why I came live. Shel Whitfield was speaking fast. Yes, she was, and she was, hey, RonyiQ, can you please, when I hit this link, come up here? And I hope you have the audio so that you could play it for me if you don't mind, because I'm on my phone, because I want to have the conversation without all of the other stuff getting in the way. You know what I mean? Because it's a very good conversation. Y'all know how I feel about these subjects, and it's very frustrating When you try to have a, hey lady T, how you doing, when you have a discussion like this, when you have people sidetracking it with other stuff, because what's going on with me and Nika shouldn't have had anything to do with this conversation. And I was reading in a chat, and I heard people getting sidetracked by, well, RonyiQ, she got it out for Bree, or RonyiQ is feeling that she's really not upset about what Gigi said. She's upset about she was going at Bless because she been in Olivia's chat is what they were alluding to, right? And I don't understand what had, and I understand you got to fight back, but you were getting sidetracked from the conversation, and I understood what it was that you were saying. So let me know if you are willing to come up and play that audio for me, because I think because a lot of people aren't educated when it comes to the uh a lot of things that certain races of people say go right over a lot of black people's head, simply because they don't understand the meaning of things. And when Gigi was up there saying what she was saying, that's why I want you to come up here and play the audio so that I can break it down, because what she said was absolutely racist, and it flew over a lot of people's head, and it just made me shake my head when they got sidetracked on other nonsense, when what you should have been focusing on. And I also heard Watkins over there over talking you, because I don't know if she heard or what the girl said. Maybe she didn't understand what she said, but I absolutely understood what it was that she was saying. Okay? It did reveal a lot of ignorance when it comes to black people, and I'm going to break that down. So, RonyiQ, let me know when you're ready to come up and play the audio for me, okay? Because I'm going to explain what it was that she was saying, and what I have to say don't have nothing to do with me going back and forth with Nika, or or Brianna or Bless. That is not what I want to talk about. And for that to be sidetracked into that conversation when it comes to something like this, what that lady said up there on that panel, I don't understand why she got up there on that panel when y'all was talking about colorism amongst black people. I don't get that. I don't even see why she was allowed to be up there. But that's not my panel, and everybody is right. Got a right to do, what they want to do. But all that other stuff, that didn't have nothing to do with that conversation. That's unfortunate to me. It's very ignorant, but I'll spell it out for you. Y'all know me. I don't mind. Anyway, Jessica said, I'm here in the bushes, listening to your point of view. My sole purpose was to discuss coloring. That's why I'm glad you're over here, and I hope that you will hit the link. Now, see, this discussion right here, I know we got a lot of petty stuff going on, but this is a very important discussion, and I would hope that people could set all of that to the side and not pick a side when it comes to what's going on with me and Nika and whoever else, to have a very important discussion about colorism amongst black people. All that other stuff don't have nothing to do with this. And if it was my panel, all the other stuff, all that petty stuff, yeah, I wouldn't have allowed it. And never would I ever be caping for something that came out of the mouth. Let me calm down. Lady Tia said Jessica be right. That's why she shouldn't have a point. Yes, she shouldn't have had a point of view. Number one, she's not black, and she's never had to encounter any type of colorism in the black community because she's not black. Like, you can't understand how it feels for your own people to discriminate you via the color of your skin. You're not black. What do you have to add to the situation? That is beyond me, but okay. I need to be side-eyeing y'all favorite black B sector creators right now. Bye-bye. Hey, truth never fails. Good evening, Miss O. All in the chat. Absolutely phenomenal discussion. So I'm going to drop the link, and hopefully RonyiQ will come up here and play that audio for me so I can break it down to y'all, because it's something that I wanted to mention in particular about what Gigi said, because I absolutely understood exactly what it was that she was saying. But like somebody said earlier, some people may be ignorant, not ignorant as you when you call somebody ignorant, like you being you being passive aggressive, kind of it just ignorant when it comes to the history of certain topics. Okay, and when you have a racist black person from the South saying what she said up on that panel, I knew exactly what she was saying. Exactly. And that's why I wanted to have this conversation. All right. Now, like I said, why my name was brought up to sideswipe the issue is beyond me. Because what she said was out of line. It was out of order. Okay? It was out of order. And maybe people didn't understand what they were saying because they don't know what they were listening to. And I'm thinking that that was the problem. You know, Tiff said it's sad that older people on this sector are uneducated. I have to agree. Because why would you be trying to cape for something like that? Do you understand what it was that she was saying to you? Then I'm finna tell y'all. Let me get this link. Queen Ting said, y'all notice how these white agitators always get a pay. Yes, and then my thing, have y'all noticed that Gigi, she loved to pop up. You ready, Ronnie? Okay, she loved to pop up when it's an issue on race. I heard somebody also talking about it went over a lot of people's heads. Yes, I noticed it went over a lot of people's heads. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all talking about this other stuff on the side, but y'all really not understand what Gigi was saying to y'all. Y'all really didn't get that. But okay. Anyway, let me get this link together, y'all, so RonyiQ can come up here. I didn't even want to break down what she said until we all hear it at once, okay? Then I'm gonna tell you what she meant by that. So let me get RonyiQ, cause I'm like, wow, okay, all right. But like I said, and then also, we are not a monolithic people, and if you are not offended by, if you are a black person, and you are not offended by what she said, you are just not offended by what, by what she said. Everybody got a right, to their own opinion. And if you ain't offended by it, you just ain't offended by it. But, at least understand what it is that she was saying. And my issues, it's okay to not be offended if you don't want to be offended, but at least understand what it is that she said. Do you see what I'm saying? At least understand that. And I'm going to break that down, okay? And when we have discussions like this, please Google what it is that I'm getting ready to tell y'all. After RonyiQ, come up here and play this so I can break it down to you. Okay, because see, that's how you learn. That's how you learn. And then the next time something like this come up, perhaps you will know immediately what it is that she was saying. Hey, Ronnie.
Hi, Miss Olivia. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, babes. I can hear you.
Okay. All right, here we go.
So I want
Wait.
you to before you play the audio for me, um
Mhm.
let me ask you this. Do you think that part of the issue was that it went over their head what Gigi said? Do you think that that was part of the issue? Because I do.
Um,
Or do you think it's
you
something else?
know, I don't know what it is because I have heard Bless get into Christopher and Pink Booty before. True. But this was clear and concise, and I'll let you guys make your own judgments because I played it and I will play it for you. I I I I could not believe that she wasn't called on it because it
Yeah,
wasn't.
I think she wasn't calling it because they didn't understand what it was that she was saying. That's why I wanted you to play it. And I saw people in the chat that were offended by it, but I also heard a lot of people caping for what it is that she said, because I heard them saying that she was talking about her family. No, she wasn't. No, she
No,
was
she
not.
wasn't.
No,
She
she
was
was not. But then, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
she she wasn't just talking about her. She was initially talking about her family, but she equated her family, one of her
Yeah, I didn't
family
believe that
members'
whole story.
speeches,
I didn't believe
to
none of that.
something else.
I didn't believe
Yeah,
that. None of
and
that.
for them to just say, "Oh, she was just talking about her family in particular," I like,
Right,
okay, all my family have liver moles on their left side of their forehead. That would be a
right,
family trait. She wasn't
right.
talking about a family trait.
No, she
So,
wasn't. No, she wasn't at all. But anyway, go
okay,
ahead and cue the
you
audio and play
ready?
it so that we can discuss it. I'm ready. Go ahead. Because
Okay, you have.
some people may not have heard the conversation, especially if they're from my people over here. They wasn't over there in Watkins panel. Do you see what I'm saying?
And I just want to be clear. The reason why I didn't hit Bless Watkins' link is because Nika was over in the chat,
Well,
being real silly and
well,
sneaky And
Let's
I was blocked
Ronnie,
before Gigi.
just let
I'm
me
just
stop
saying
you right
I was
there. I know what you're
uh-huh.
saying, and I get that part about Nika and the other petty stuff, but I really want to focus on this conversation right here. You see what
But I
I'm
was
saying?
just letting you know I didn't
I
go
know,
up
baby.
because I was blocked. Because I would have went up there because
Right.
it was just that offensive. That's all I'm saying.
I
Okay, here we
understand.
go.
But
Now I want to let you set this up. Is Bless, Miss O, and Gigi on there? Miss O is about to get off, and you're gonna hear her
not me,
exit.
y'all. Now, I'm not the Miss O that she's talking about. I'm just
No,
trying to let people know that you're not talking about me.
the Miss O. I'm sorry.
Right.
And so you're gonna hear her exit. Here we go. I'm sorry, I gotta go back a little bit. I had my volume down on my computer.
Okay, take your time. All right, that's fine. Just let us know when you're ready. To her true feelings about it. She's her family as a cover up. I agree with that.
Perspective on that too. So, okay, I'm gonna drop that. But thank you so much, DG. I commend you for coming up here because you didn't have to come up here and give your views because you're putting yourself out there because you are Caucasian. So I respect the fact
Yes,
that you're here.
thank you so much.
You were. I'm glad you came up too. Because it was good to hear. What the way you see it coming from a Caucasian woman. But like I said, if you would have said, if it was you, oh yeah, it'd really be taken in the wrong place because you are Caucasian. Oh my God. So I get why you uncomfortable with it. I really do.
And I would like to add now, my father's grandmother is a Black Caribbean. The family homesteaded in Louisiana. Now, although my father and many of his brothers and sisters, they have features of, excuse us, but we call his nose and we name his name, but his forehead is
The nigger
like
nose.
excuse me, a
Pause,
monkey.
RonyiQ.
We
Pause.
call it a symbolizer. So he has.
Okay.
Pause. I want you to roll it back. But when she said we call his nose the name, she said they call his nose. They saying he got a big nose and they call it the nigger nose. Now, can you roll it back and start that all over again? From when she start talking, I just want to interject it. That's what she meant by that right there.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
So he has features of a Black man. And now I know DKL is just fun, and
we're not creating no harm or talking about nobody bad. I think it's a good talk. Good morning, Spook TV. Oh, Spook is be a good perspective on that too. But okay, I'm gonna drop down too. But thank you so much, DG. I commend you for coming up here because you didn't have to come up here and give your views because you're putting yourself out there because you are Caucasian. So I respect the fact
that thank you so much.
You were. I'm glad you came up too. Because it was good to hear. What the way you see it coming from a Caucasian woman. But like I said, if you would have said, if it was you, oh yeah, it'd really be taken in the wrong place because you are Caucasian.
Oh my God.
So I get why you uncomfortable with it. I really do.
And I would like to add now, my father's grandmother is a Black Caribbean. The family homesteaded in Louisiana. Now, although my father and many of his brothers and sisters, they have features of, excuse us, but we call his nose and we name his name, but his forehead is like a monkey. We call it a sun visor. So he has features of a Black man. And now I know DKL is just fun, and I
Pause it right there.
friends.
Pause it, RonyiQ.
Okay.
So first of all, when she said her granddaddy or daddy, whoever, this is a lie, but first she said the thing about the nose. Evidently, the nose is that she's saying the nose is big, so they call it the nigger nose, right? Then she goes on to talk about, well, his family is from the Caribbean and we sell it in Louisiana, so his forehead is like a monkey, and we call it a sun visor. Well, now see, I live down south, and Gigi does too. I don't know if she is from Alabama or Mississippi or Georgia, but Gigi, this is what you was tell. This is how you was playing in their face, okay, bitch? This is why I'm offended by it. Down south, when they see a black person with a big nose or something like that, and they want to make a racial stereotype or epithet, they say you got a nigger nose. Okay, there's a little game that the little kids used to go around and play when we was kids. They used to call it nigger knocking. And and nigger knocking, when we used to play with it, was you would go around and knock on people's door and run and hide behind the house before they came to the door. They call it nigger knocking. But when that got started, how the term nigger knocking had originated, nigger knocking is when you see a black person in the street back in the day, pre-civil rights era, when you see a person walking down in the street, what they would do is they would, if the crackers felt like you had a big nose, they try to hit you in your nose. And when the crackers hit you in your nose, if they knock you down to the ground, that is called nigger knocking. If you hit the ground, that is how that term got started. So when she's saying they call his nose a name, she's saying he had a nigger nose. Okay. Now when she get to the part about his forehead was like a monkey, and and they called it a sun visor. Okay, now that's some white supremacist neo-Nazi bullshit. Because let me give you a little history, okay? When it comes to the foreheads, have you guys ever heard of the Olympian called Jesse Owens? Jesse Owens was a black man that during World War II, he went to the Olympic Games in Nazi Germany when Hitler was still in power. Jesse Owens was so good at what he did, he beat everybody that he went up against, to the point to where Hitler got upset. He showed several pictures of monkeys or apes, if you will. And he was judging black people versus white people by the side of their foreheads. Okay, he did that. And also, if you follow Darwin's theory, Darwin was a eugenicist, and he was also a racist and a white supremacist. So when you hear Darwin's theory and he's saying that we all evolved from monkeys, no, what he's saying is black people evolved from monkeys. That's why his theory has been shot down for forever. They used to teach it in school. There's also a real popular book down south, well, all over the world. It's called The Bell Curve. And if you read that book called The Bell Curve, they say that you can tell somebody's race by the size of their forehead. So when she's saying her uncle's forehead is big, it looked like a monkey, and they call it a sun visor, that is what she's talking about. Okay? So
Okay.
when I heard that, when she said that come out of her mouth, I'm assuming that it went over a lot of black people's heads, simply because they don't know the history, and a lot of black people are ignorant to history. And that's why it went over a lot of black people's heads. She was not talking about, honey, her heritage or whatever. She wasn't talking about that with a country motherfucking ass. Okay? She was calling all black people monkey. So after she told that story, she went right into talking about what Duchess Kelly Love, had when he had been saying the monkey thing and all this and all that. Well, we know that when Duchess Kelly Love say something like that, it hit different as opposed to what she was up on that panel saying. So when I heard black people caping for her after she said that, it was beyond me. Okay, that is why I wanted to come on to explain to y'all what it was that she was saying, because a lot of people might not know. And like I said, all you have to do is Google this information, what I told you, and go read it for yourself. And you come to your own conclusion, okay? See, racism is very overt down south. And I've heard those terms, the nigger nose or the sun visor pertaining to the forehead. And what I told you about the origin of nigger knocking and all of this and all of that. That is what she's talking about. That's some old racist ass bullshit that she let come out of her mouth because she figured that it would go over a lot of black people's head. The thing is, we all not stupid, okay? We all not stupid. And I was very offended by that. And wait a minute. And moreover, I was offended how the comment when RonyiQ got up, when she finally did get up on the panel after she went over to Duchess Kelly Love, you know, he was even offended by it, right? So when you get over there and you finally have the discussion and they sidetrack the discussion out of ignorance and make it personal, and people start talking about other stuff, you know, besides what this woman said up there, because she offended everybody of color that was under the sound of her voice. And for people not to get that is beyond me. But hey, to each his own. And even still, you have a right not to be offended by that if you don't want to be offended by it. But you need to understand what it is that you're not offended about, if that makes sense. And that is the reason why, RonyiQ, I wanted you to come up here and play that so that I could just let everybody know, in case they didn't know, what it was exactly that she was saying to people, because a lot of people didn't understand what she was saying. But that's what she meant by that. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And also, if I'm correct, that bell curve book also described traits of criminality. And yes, almost all of the traits of criminality were traits that were attributes of Black people.
Yes, that's why I referenced the book. So you can have some reading material. So in case you want to go reference what it is that I said, you can also research the history of Jesse Owens during World War II and Hitler, and how they tried to demean him based on the color of his skin because he beat everything he went up against during those Olympics. And Hitler was so offended by it, they had to liken him to a monkey. Okay? That is some bull crap. All right? And so okay. Yeah. And a lot of people say, California says, I think she didn't care. And I think she absolutely intended to offend people. And see, here's the thing about white people sometimes. They expect a lot of the slick shit that they say to go over your head because I heard Justice Kelly Love talking about kitchen table talk. See, they are smiling your face, okay? When you out in public and you working with them, even when you on YouTube, everybody cool. But when they at home amongst themselves, they have a whole different conversation. Okay? And that's what he meant by kitchen table talk, right? Just like Justice Kelly Love said, he didn't feel like when she got up there, and I didn't hear this because I'm sleep at night. But when she got up there and evidently she got up there on Sir King's page and called him a boy. Okay? Coming from down south, anytime you call a black man a boy, it's supposed to be racist, okay? It ain't no way you can explain it away. Now, I don't know how it is up north, but when you down south and you calling a black man a boy with that accent, with that tone and where she come from, it was absolutely racist, okay? Now, but I understand that he'll get over there and he'll cape for a whole lot of racists too. You see what I'm saying? It still don't make it right. But I also noticed when it comes to Gigi, every time it's a subject of race or something like that, she got to pop her motherfucking ass up on somebody's panel. Now, why she was allowed to stay up there in the first place when you're talking about colorism in the Black community is beyond me. I simply do not understand that, but that was not my panel. But that is the point that I want to make. And all that other side petty ass shit that was going on, that was either deflectionary or motherfuckers just didn't get how rude and disrespectful and racist she was being up there when she let that stuff come out of her mouth. And and another reason why I don't do this type of content anymore is because you got a lot of ignorant people, especially in this sector, that will cape for people like her. Do you see what I'm saying? They'll cape for them. You a cape for somebody that's being disrespectful, not only to you, but to your own people. And you gotta you know what? If you're not offended by it, that is absolutely your right not to be offended by it. Okay? Just like it is RonyiQ's rights to be offended by it. But why she had to took her time and get up on that panel when evidently, from what I understand, the topic was colorism within the Black community, which is an absolute good conversation. Why she would feel the need to hop up there and say all of that is beyond me, and maybe somebody can hit the link and make it make sense for me. Why it was allowed is beyond me, but that's, once again, that's not my panel. But I just wanted y'all to know what it was that she was saying and what it was that was going over people's head. All right. Anyway, go ahead, RonyiQ.
Okay. So I'm going to keep playing it, but in between, Sassy is going to come up and talk about something that's off topic. So I'm going to skip forward once you hear Sassy, and that's the only reason I'm skipping forward to get back to Gigi, okay?
Okay, go ahead. Continue. And like I said, once again, y'all, it's an open panel. If you want to hit the link and you got something to say, whether you for or you agree or disagree with what it is I'm saying, please feel free to hit the link. This is adult conversation. I'm not gonna cuss you out. I'm speaking in a tone right now. I'm just offended, but I'm not. Whether you agree with what I'm saying or not, please feel free to hit the link and express yourself. Because this is a conversation that needs to be had. And we're not talking about no side stuff, about no beef. I want to have this conversation, including not only this conversation about what was said, also, if you want to have the conversation about colorism, I'm open to that as well. Go ahead, RonyiQ, and I'll keep dropping the link.
But I know he's being silly. But, you know, if someone called my daddy that, I would just go crazy. So, you know, it offends me. Just like, you know, Seven, every chance she gets, excuse me, I know she comes in your chat, calls me a white bee. And I think, if I called you a black bee, you know.
Pause it right there.
That's unacceptable.
Pause it. So she said she don't understand why every time she be on the panel with Seven, I guess she talking about 7 stars, she called her a white bee. But if she called her a black bee, that's unacceptable. That's just like saying we can call each other nigger, but it's not fair for me not to be allowed to call you a nigger. Do you see what I'm saying? You see how that works? And when she say, but it's unacceptable for me to call her a black bee, that's you calling her a black bee. Like, what you mean? Anyway, I just want to point that out. Move right along. Go ahead. Continue.
That I have a lot more to kind of say on that, but I want to kind of veer off the subject as far as this kitty litter person.
Hold on there for a minute.
I'm going over this Sassy thing to get back to Gigi. Okay.
That educated. So I don't understand what makes people think that. So now let me answer this person right here, Sassy. Gigi, before we go.
Okay.
Somebody said in there that when you were describing, you had an uncle that looked like a.
What? I thought RonyiQ. What? RonyiQ was on it.
When you literally said that, she was questioning you the way you describing your uncle. You said.
You want me to pause it?
No, baby. I'm sorry. I had clicked myself off the chat, and I think I had to click you back in. I don't know. I don't even know if everybody heard all of that, but girl.
Okay, I'm gonna start it back over.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I hit the wrong thing, RonyiQ. I was trying to share the link, and I hit the wrong thing.
I'm gonna click it over to where Sassy is finishing up.
Okay.
So you guys know that I'm not editing anything out.
Okay. Thanks, babes. Go ahead.
I agree with you. Absolutely. Thanks for coming up.
Okay, bye, you guys.
All right, and then Shel Whitfield, you're right. What was with the Southern educated? I hear a lot of people with deep Southern draws that educated. So I don't understand what makes people think that. So now let me answer this person right here. Gigi, before we go
Miss
on.
Vonnie, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
When you were describing, you had an uncle that looked like a monkey, so he looked black. No, she didn't mean it like that to that person. I think that was Queen Litter that said that. She was questioning you the way you describing your uncle. You said something about his head, y'all call him a monkey, but he looked black. So she take it as if since he got a monkey head, he looked.
That's not what she said.
No,
but go ahead.
It's not.
Black. I know you didn't mean it like that.
Are you talking about me?
Yeah, you just said how your uncle
okay.
looked.
Yeah, no, my dad.
Your dad. Well, somebody
said in his forehead. And what I was saying is, if someone called him that, I would go crazy. That's my daddy.
No, that's not what I'm saying. They taking you the wrong way. Because when you said something about Uncle, Dad, whoever you're talking about, looked like a monkey, but the forehead or something.
Yeah, man.
But then he looked like a black man. So the person was questioning you because he looked like a monkey. That makes him look like a black man. And I was saying, I don't think you meant it that way.
No. I apologize. No, I did not mean it
Can
that
you
way.
pause that for a minute, RonyiQ? Can you pause it for a minute, babes? I want. Hey, everybody that joined. Hey, Lex. Hey, Sipper Mocha. Hey, Chopper. Jordana. EJ. Hey, everybody. Well, I want to answer this question from Food Junkie. Food Junkie said, "At Olivia, are you saying that it's okay to insult white people with racial slurs, but it's not okay for white people to respond accordingly?" No, I'm not saying that, Food Junkie. I think you maybe came in. What I was saying was. She is the one that brought up the subject. She said every time she come in the chat, when 7 stars is in her, 7 will call her a white bee. And she said, but if she called 7 a black bee, it would be wrong. That is what she said. And what she's saying is, if you can call me a white bee, why can't I call you a black bee? That is what she's saying. And no, I'm not saying it's not right to respond accordingly. I'm saying you want to respond in a racist manner. And what you're asking, the question that you're really asking is, if you call yourselves nigger, why can't I call you nigger? That's not fair. That is what I'm saying. Because
Miss Olivia, can I say something real quick?
Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Vonnie.
I just want to say, one of the reasons that Gigi keeps coming up on these platforms whenever they're talking about racism and color is because they have made her feel like she can do that. And she's comfortable to do that. And the more you let her come on there and the more you don't put no brakes or no boundaries on them, they'll keep on doing it and she'll keep on saying it. And just a minute ago, when she was talking about if somebody said that about my dad, I would go berserk. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you would go berserk if somebody mentioned and said that maybe your daddy might be black. See, that's what she meant. I caught all of that today.
Right.
I caught all of it. And I was at work. I was so mad my ears got red. Right. I was so mad my ears got red today.
Exactly. Can I point out something else? You noticed that Bless Watkins was addressing people in the chat that did not agree, who had problems, who had issues with what she said. But Bless Watkins pretended like I was the only one who had an issue with what this woman was saying. Anybody with any sense heard what this woman was saying, and to try to act like I was on something else. No, I was on what this woman was saying. And that's what pissed me off.
Yes, I mean, she was saying what she meant. I mean, she put it right out there for me. You have to be a fool not to hear it. And
I think that went over people's heads. Yeah.
And I was offended, but I don't go on Bless's platform anymore. So I wasn't about to say anything in there, but I definitely was offended. And I just wanted to say that one little point. She keeps coming because they make her feel comfortable. And yes, anytime a person from down south calls a black man a boy, it is meant in a negative stereotype.
Yes,
that's what it's meant. Because if I hear a white person calling my 29-year-old son a boy, my son ain't gonna have to say nothing because I'm gonna jump right in there with both feet and both hands.
Right.
But
absolutely.
You got to learn to call this stuff out. And the reason it's okay for somebody to call you a white bee when you're in their chat is because, number one, you probably didn't have no business in there in the first place. And if you get made to feel uncomfortable, see, maybe you keep your butt where you belong. See, they want us to stay in our lane, but they want to be in our lane, on our street, in our house, doing everything. So that's all I wanted to say, and I'm gonna go. Thank you, Miss Olivia. Thank you, RonyiQ, for playing that, guys. And so I just wanted to say that, y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Vonnie. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Ronnie.
Wait a minute, Ronnie, hold on a
okay.
minute. I gotta call in my super chats. Thank you so much, Teresa Miller. Much needed conversation, and thank you so much. Somebody else gave me a super. Here you go. Thank you, Miss Donna. How you doing? I think we got somebody else coming up on here, Ronnie. Oh, here goes 7. I hope it's actually 7. Hey, 7, is that you?
Yeah,
hey,
it's
how
me.
you doing, love? How you doing?
I'm good. Let me just say something real quick, okay?
Uh-huh.
I didn't even know why she brought me up as an example. Do you know when whatever panel I was on with her, it was on her channel. This was like a year ago, legit. I'm not even lying. She was upset because she donated $45 to me for, I guess, like some equipment fund that I had going on. I gave her money back. Okay. I gave her money back. I don't know why she's still talking about me. This woman has been blocked for months. When I tell you for months, she can't come in my chat. She can't leave a comment. She has been blocked. So why is she even still bringing me up? That's some sort of like weird obsession. Now, remember, she was hitting up Jason talking about, Jason exposed some emails talking about, oh, this is where Lisa lives, and see if you can get a location on her and stuff. She's been like completely obsessed with me. I don't even know why she brought me up today.
Out of the clear blue.
Clear blue.
But she's still holding on to that because she chose today to call you, just like you called her a white bee. She chose today to call you a black bee. She simply couldn't let it go. See, there is also a.
And let me answer Food Junkie's question. I don't give a fuck about anybody calling me a black bee. Let me tell you something. These words have no power over me. Somebody calling me a nigger, somebody calling me a nigger. That none of that has a power over me because I know who the fuck I am. So while you sitting up here talking about, oh, is it okay if she does it? Yes, I don't give a fuck what she does, but what she needs to do is leave me the fuck alone because I don't go over there looking for the girl. Okay, I put out her name, Stacey McGuire. She's mad about that. I don't care. She shouldn't have been emailing Jason about me. That's who actually doxed her. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there real quick. I don't know this lady. I don't talk to her. It's been months. Do you understand? I can't even remember the last time I even talked to that crazy lady. And she's always high off of whiskey. She don't even know what the hell she's talking about half the time.
Well, she upstairs, like you said, and you're never far from the recesses of her brain. You know what I mean? So that's what's going on with her. But as far as her talking in a way she was talking code speech. Or Kelly Love called it kitchen table talk when she was talking about the forehead and the whatever. All of that. I like I said, I live down south, and it's apparent to me what she was saying. But as far as somebody as old as Bless Watkins letting it ride on her panel and still niggas explaining for her, that is beyond me. Because she wouldn't have made it to the point to get to have the conversation about 7.
Yeah, I don't think she was nigga-splaining for Gigi. I think what happened was, she got caught up in a fisticuffs with RonyiQ, and that's what it was. I think
hadn't said anything at that point, 7.
I think she knew what was going on. Okay, she probably felt bad about it. However, she had to let it ride out. Listen, I don't know why she let that lady up there, especially if you're having a conversation about colorism in the Black community. I don't know why that happened, but I wasn't a part of that. I heard my name come up and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, my name came up too the second time. Yeah. All
right. So look, I'm gonna go ahead and drop down, but thank you for letting me on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for joining, 7. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
And so
Miss Olivia.
Let me call out these super chat. Thank you for the super chats, Blue Skies, for the super sticker, and thank you. I'm sorry, Ronnie, just give me a second. EJ, thank you. And there was one more. I'm trying to scroll up. I think I'm caught up now. Go ahead, Ronnie.
And Miss Olivia, and that was my point of contention with this whole thing, was when she looked in the chat and saw somebody disagreeing with what was being said, Bless immediately went to I don't think that's what she means.
Right. Yeah, I heard
That's
that.
what bothered me because the
Amen.
lady was clear and concise in what she said, and for you not to understand what was being said, and then to come back when somebody is bringing it to your attention to make an excuse to say, "I don't think that's what she means." That really, that was the one that like set me off, because once you know, you cannot go back to pretending you don't know.
Well, that's what I meant by nigga explaining in the first place. That's what I meant by it. But I don't. A California girl said I don't think it's black and white. That lady is black, and they colorist, which is sicker. What lady is black? Are you saying Gigi is not black? If that's who you calling black California girl, she a country ass white woman. That's what she is from down south. That's what she is. I don't know. I don't. I hope. I'm hoping she ain't calling Gigi black. So yeah, Gigi called the entire sector black bees up. Yeah, and called black men monkeys. That's exactly what she did. That's the reason why I'm having this conversation right now. You saw everything else is besides a point to me. I really wanted to address what it is that she set up on that panel right in front of a lot of black people faces, and evidently either you didn't mind or it went over your head. And I'm hoping that it just went over your head, because if you didn't mind, that's on you. That is absolutely your right not to mind. But for you not to be informed as to what was going on, that is the purpose of this conversation. Thank you, for the super chat, Tamara. That is why we're having this conversation today. Yeah, I know that she claimed to be black a long time ago, but that is just not the case. She is not black. I don't care what she claimed. That's like she paid that boy. What was his name? She paid him to lie and say that they were cousins. And then the boy, when he got mad at her, what was Napturian or something like that? He let us
No,
all know
that was that was diving for death. Those are two different people.
oh, those
That
two
was
different
diving
people.
for death.
Okay. Well, ain't
Mhm.
Gigi the one that said she was half black too or something like that?
I don't. I've never heard her claim that black.
Okay. Well, maybe I got
Diving
them
for
mixed
death
up.
claimed she was half black. Yeah.
Okay.
So I never heard Gigi say she was
Well, so
anything but
so is
white.
this the first day that we supposed to hear that her ancestors descended from the Caribbean islands? Did this just come up today? Like out of the blue, she pulled it out of her ass? Like I'm really trying to understand here.
This is the first time I've heard that.
Okay. All right. Hey Shel Whitfield, how you doing?
I'm great.
And
Hi, Miss Olivia. I'm so glad to be up on this panel with you and RonyiQ. And
hey,
actually,
Shel.
I got to tell you, I was so hoping that you would go live today, because this is, you know, no matter what people say about you, this is one of the things and areas that I love about you, because you're able to teach and talk about this kind of stuff. And I just have to say, I'm from the North, okay, but my family's from the South. I don't have any more patience, Miss Olivia and Miss RonyiQ, for this kind of nonsense. I just don't. I don't have patience for excusing it. I don't have patience for giving passes and saying, oh, they maybe they didn't mean it that way. I don't have patience. And I understand there are people who do, and there are people who want to explain. I'm not one of them. I heard Gigi call Sir King a boy. And I heard her, and I heard Sir King, who I don't have a problem with Sir King, but he does open his panel to these weirdos. I heard him say to her, that's offensive. And we in the chat were telling her it's offensive. And she argued us down as if she could tell us from her place of superiority what is offensive, what should be offensive to us as Black people. I was disgusted from that moment going forward. And to hear her today, it it was already sealed with me, but this was just the cherry on top of how inappropriate and racist this woman is. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand. And this is what happens with you, Olivia. Sometimes you get mad. And I tell people your anger sometimes is righteous, because you're trying to make people see. You're trying to make them understand what some of us do see about people like this. What are you opening the door to people like this for? We fight against each other in this sector. There's a bunch of y'all fighting right now that I like. I like all of y'all. But you can fight against each other, but somebody like Gigi, we can't come together and condemn. We can't come together and say, no, we don't need Gigi over here. This whole thing about the monkey forehead and all this, that was all made up to be racist. And any normal Black person knows it.
Yes.
We can't come together on that, but we can fight each other. And that's what bothers me. I've been bothered all day with this shit. I'm sorry, I don't even like to curse, but I've been bothered all day. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it bothered me because I'm sorry, Shel, but it bothered me, and I wanted to have the conversation because I felt like the side conversations about us bickering back and forth with one another, that was letting her off the hook.
Yes.
I mean, she called people monkeys and black bitches in everybody's face, and then you had other black people niggas explaining it away. Oh, I don't think she meant it like that. Yes, she did mean it like that. For what? And like I said, I want to come on and discuss it because maybe it went over some people's head because not everybody knows, the history of certain words. And so that's why I wanted to have and I couldn't understand, Shel, why she would even click the link to have a conversation about colorism within the black community. You're not black. You've never had to deal with colorism on any level.
That's right. And I'm going to tell you something, and I'm not trying to be rude to my own people, but there are some people who give respect to people just because they're white, Miss Olivia and Miss RonyiQ. Because they're white, they give them some respect. Oh, okay, I'm glad to hear from you. Well, what do we need to hear from them for? And I listen, I'm not talking about all white people. I'm talking about people like Gigi. We don't need to hear from Gigi on a topic she knows nothing about. Who is Gigi?
Right.
We can have this conversation without people like Gigi. Let's not bow down to these people because they're white. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
And we are, I have lived my entire life around white people. I have a lot of wonderful white people in my life, but I know racism when I see it, and I'm not bowing down to them. There's nothing so special about their opinion that I need to hear when they're saying stuff like Gigi said. And I'm glad you're pointing this out. And that's, I'll be quiet. I see Food Junkie joined.
Oh, hey, Food Junkie. But yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I think that it really needed to be called out, and it was a really good conversation to share and break down what it is that she was saying. So if it happens again, maybe perhaps she won't be able to get away with it, and they won't be defending her in such a way, because like I said, you got a right to defend her, and if you want to, you got a right not to be offended, if you don't want to. But what you should do is know who it is you're defending and what it is exactly, what it is that you're defending as well. Do you see what I'm saying? And so that was my issue.
They would rather have ignored what she said and picked a fight with me, and I didn't say anything offensive. But
that's why
she offended the whole black race, and they want to fight with me. Right. So that's how far some people will go to ignore overt racism in this country and in this day and age. And that's why our young people are so messed up in the head that they hang around their white friends and let their white friends use the word nigger in front of them.
That's right.
Miss Olivia.
Well, there was an argument going on a little while ago that I think it was Tom Hanks' son. He didn't understand why black people could use the word nigger, but he couldn't. It was inappropriate for him to use the word nigger. Like his privilege and his entitlement had him thinking that just because his friends going around saying nigger and don't get called out on it, he don't understand why he can't say the word nigger.
Miss Olivia, really quick. I'm at work, wherever, so I'm taking a little break to talk to this, whatever. I asked the question in the chat, and you answered the question. The question wasn't to try to defend or to acknowledge anyone saying that someone was right and or wrong. I just had a question simply because my thing is, like you just talked about just now, a lot of us think that that N word is something that is empowering. It's not. A lot of that word, just because we choose to use it with each other was not, we think that it's okay that we can do it, someone else can't do it. My thing is that if you want to abolish the whole stereotype of that word and the whole negativity of that word altogether, how about just stop using the word period? So when I asked the question, is it okay for a white person to use a racial slur, a black person to use a racial slur toward a white person, are you saying it's okay for them not to defend themselves? Not saying that they should use it at all, one way or the other. My point is, if we, I don't have this type of conversation with people because to me, a lot of people are ignorant on this subject. A lot of people, when they hear something that they don't like, the first thing they do is attack, raise their voice, start yelling and screaming. And the reality is that doesn't get anything accomplished. All it does is get me to ignore you, because I feel that you can have a intelligent conversation with someone on a subject matter that y'all may not agree with. I can disagree with anyone, but there's a way to do things and there's a way not to do things. And not saying that anyone was wrong as far as on this panel or whatever, but I'm just saying, with Gigi, I don't know her. I don't know of her. I don't watch her. I don't listen to her, was not, because of what I feel that she is, have some racial undertones in what she said and what she does. So I don't give her that energy one way or the other. It's not that I'm ignoring her, was not. I don't talk about people that I don't fuck with, period. I'm not going to sit up here and have a conversation about someone that I don't care for, that I don't watch, and that I know have racial undertones in their language. That's like me discussing Jason. For what reason? You already said and done enough for me to realize that I can't even speak with you or talk to you or even talk about you. Why would I give you that type of energy? That's my question was.
Miss Olivia, may I say something? You know, this comparison, right? So let's say a Black person says something against a white person. That's wrong. I think all of us on this panel would say, you know what? That's wrong. If you say some sort of racial slur to a white person, that's wrong. When white people do it against Black people, it's wrong, but it's also deeper and it's rooted in an entire history of white supremacy in this country. And you look at what's happened. So it's different if, for instance, Gigi says, hey, boy, to a Black man, and a Black man says, or me as a Black woman, I say to a white man, hey, boy. Those are not the same things. Right. They're not. And so when we try to make them equivalents, when we do this, when we make this false equivalence, it's dangerous for us as Black people. I agree. We can say things are wrong. I don't think anybody, listen, I don't call anybody any racialized slurs. That's just not my get down. I'm not for any of it. But when we try to make them equal, we ignore an entire history that's happened to us as a people. And we shouldn't be doing that. None of us should be doing that.
And I absolutely have to agree, because see, here's the thing. In this country in particular, we those that deem themselves the majority in this country, they want to just explain it away, or moreover, they don't want to talk about it at all. And I don't think that it's fair for Black people to always have to be apologetic about a history in which we have been traumatized via this same history. Why do we have to turn around and apologize for anything pertaining to this history and our past? Since we got off the boat, since our ancestors got off the boat, why do we have to be apologetic about anything when it comes to racism, moreover white supremacy racism, and the tools that they use against us? Why do we have to be apologetic for any of that? Because sometimes I always said, if you don't start nothing, it won't be nothing. And so the reason why I gave this energy today to answer Food Junkies questions, the reason why I gave this energy today simply is because a lot of our own people don't know the history. They don't know what they were listening to. And the reason why they don't know what they were listening to is because nobody wants to talk about it. That's even right. In a lot of our they sure ain't gonna tell you about it in school. Do you see what I'm saying? So a lot of the times it's overlooked when it's even talked about on the internet. Okay. And a lot of Black people don't even know to teach it to their kids in the house. So much of our history has been lost, be it good history or bad history. And when you say that you are not willing to have the conversation, or you just don't want to give it energy, that is fueling that is giving more power to the system of white supremacy racism, because the system doesn't want it to be talked about. Because if you can talk about it, you may want to reconcile it, and you may start to chip away at that system. Now we see this thing going on. Even how y'all feel about what's going on with Meghan Markle? They talked about the color of her baby's skin before her baby was born. Do you just not talk about that?
Can I say one thing? I'm not going to talk about. I'm saying when I say I don't talk about it, I don't talk about it on here in this sector because people don't understand how to agree to disagree. Everyone wants to attack if your opinion is slightly different than yours. We're all saying the exact same thing. I'm just saying it a slightly different way than everyone else is saying it. My point is this. I'm blackity black. I'm a Black man living in America. I know that I am a threat to everyone. I'm 6'3", 200 plus pounds, intelligent, strong, and attractive. I know that I'm a threat to majority of people just walking around that doesn't look like me. I know that. I walk it every day. I live it every day. I don't have conversations like this with people that I know that there's not going to be some type of common understanding with. And when people start assuming that I'm saying one thing when that's not what I said at all, that's when question is over for me, because that's not what I said. I said that certain people that I know, especially in this sector, on this thing, why am I going to have a conversation with people that I know is not going to understand it, is not going to get it, who haven't done their research, who don't have the same knowledge that I have? I can have one with you one-on-one. I can have one with RonyiQ. I can have one with Shel Whitfield. We can all have a conversation about us not. But when people start coming in and attacking because I asked one question and addressing me aggressively, it's over. Because I'm not going to sit here and argue with someone over something that I didn't say. That
we're not arguing. We're not arguing. I just wanted to, like I said, I'm here today. Let me finish, Food Junkie. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I just wanted to say that I don't have these conversations over here or even on the other side because I am exhausted. But what I saw today was a lot of people maybe not knowing the history of behind what it was that lady was saying, and she was playing in a lot of people's face. And even though I don't have these discussions over here anymore, it was no way I wasn't going to have this conversation because it was too much. You cannot sit up on the panel and call people monkeys and black bitches and it go over people's head, and you got other black people defending them, and somebody not call it out on them. That's too much. That's too far. So I understand what you're saying about this sector, but today what I heard was too much.
Right.
And makes so bad it caused division. They were having the conversation about colorism in the black community, and it was black people up there talking about it. And I asked you, Food Junkie, what was the purpose of Gigi coming up there on that panel? What does she know about colorism in the black community? Did you answer that for me?
To be a distractor. To be a distractor.
To be a distractor. You're absolutely right.
But the conversation started yesterday on Duchess Cully Love's channel.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
That's what it started at. And I wrote in his channel was not yesterday when they were having a conversation when I was at work. I understand the privilege of being an attractive, light-skinned black man.
A light-skinned black man ain't attracted to everybody, though, Food Junkie. I'm sorry.
That's not what I said. That's not what I see. That's not what I said. I said I understand what my privilege is, being that for me. Trust me, being 45 years old, walking in this life for 45 years, I know what I have gotten being who I am. I know the things that my brother who's dark-skinned haven't gotten, being who he is. He's attractive. He's dark-skinned. I understand. The whole point was that I understand my privilege as where I stand. I understand the privilege as being a gay man. I understand the privilege of being a black man. I understand the privilege of being 6'3". I understand all my privileges. I made a video.
You know what, Food Junkie, can I say something to you real quick? You know what? I'm a little bit on the more on the lighter side than the darker side, and I haven't seen none of them privileges. They treated me just like they treat the black ass niggas. They treat me the same way. They treat me just like a nigga. And as far as that word the N word is concerned, you know that word got brought into our society to break us down and keep us down and keep their foot on us. And so we have taken that word and taken the power out of it and made it ours. So if they're gonna take that word and use it, are they going to take all the other stuff and use it too? They want to use the N word. Okay. Do you also want to go ahead and take the privilege of being shot down at any time? Do you also want to take the privilege of being mistreated just because of your color? Don't just pick out that word to be wanting to use it. But I think we should continue to use it in the right time in our place or whatever. But we ain't going to stop using it just because it makes some white people uncomfortable because they can't use it.
See, that's not what I said. But see, the thing is, once again,
that's what it sounded like.
That's why I don't have these conversations. I'm at work. Let me tell you one thing. I'm leaving. I don't have that conversation or use those words, or that's not what I said, because people want to believe what they want to believe. Like, I didn't say anything about what your experience was being a fair-skinned black person, was that a fair-skinned black woman. I said what I experienced as a fair-skinned, what I perceive as attractive black man. I've talked about my experience, and when I talk about my experience, people want to take it as if I'm saying all people who look like me do what I do as not get the same things. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying me, an individual.
Okay. Can we hear from? I mean, I know Right to Be Told has been hurt.
Okay, I'm saying, but I'm also at work, so I'm getting ready to go up. Let me get what I'm saying, please. See, the rudeness is what I don't like. The little shade is what I don't like. I don't really fuck with people like that.
I wasn't throwing you no shade.
It's not shade. It's just giving somebody else a chance. It's a lot of people.
I'm not throwing shade. I just know that Ms. Right to Be Told has been waiting.
I appreciate it. I'm at work. I'll let you all have a conversation with what y'all want to say. Bye, y'all.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, Right to Be Told, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
All right. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you. I want to say two things. One, I don't use the N word myself, but I want to know, and I've asked this on another panel, and no one could seem to answer the question. I want to know, when every ethnic group and every cultural group has their own racial slurs, why don't they use their own racial slurs? Why jump on the black racial slur? I mean, because I'm not going to disrespect your opinion, but I was very clear. I used all the racial slurs that belong to every ethnic group out there, and everybody was like, "Oh." I even talked to a guy who has a baby mother, and he says, "Oh, she uses the word too." I said, "Well, when you go to her family's Thanksgiving dinner, use the word wet," and I'm not going to say the rest, and see how that works. And he cringed when I said, "Oh, you can't use their slang, their slurs, but she can use your slurs." He said, "Well, she cool. Well, you should be equally as cool with her." So no one can see the answer to me why everybody else use their own slur for their word, while everyone cringes when it's used. That I just want to know why they picked this particular one to want to jump on. And I say that when you mentioned Meghan Markle, my girlfriend and I have been talking about this since the interview. I just feel like Meghan Markle has passed for white, and she was offended that they told her and put her back in the black person place. I don't feel like any
wake-up call.
Yeah, because I don't feel like anybody who has who is clear with the fact that they're black would have been shocked by their behavior. And she seems so shocked. And well, I do have a third thing to say. We really need to stop with the whole colorism thing. And we need to work on that. I'm dark skinned, so I do have an issue sometimes with colorism. I can admit that. But everybody, when people outside of us see us all the same way, we got to figure out how to see us all the same way too. And that's I just want to say that. But I really want somebody to see why people don't use their own racial slurs, because they have them.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you notice, we're really insulary in the black community. A lot of us are. So you hear everybody, they've got whole, have had whole legislative, committees and all of this and all that around the N word and around, our Black Lives Matter and all of this and all that, but why is the spotlight not put on other types of racial epithets? Do you see what I'm saying? And I can answer that question is because this goes back to history. When I was in school, I had to do a paper on a book called White Rage. All right. And if you have ever read the book White Rage, it is talking about how white people, if they wanted to be included into the system of white supremacy racism, they had to shed off their own ethnicity. All right. So whether you're say you might be Italian or even white Jewish or either what do you call it, Scottish or whatever, you're just white over here. So Irish. You had to pretty much turn off your heritage, right? So when you hear Italian, they call Italians what, like wetbacks or something like that, or is it Mexicans or whatever? All
they
those
call
little
the Italians wops.
WAPs. Okay, now you heard that. I am not even familiar with those types of racial epithets, but don't you find it interesting that our other, races and ethnicity of people are familiar with the derogatory terms that they call black people? Don't you find that very interesting? And the reason why that is, everybody know to call a black person a nigger from any other race or heritage or whatever like that. That's universal. The word nigger, that's what they think of us, right? But when you start getting to their own racial epithets, a lot of black people can't speak any type of racial epithet towards them, and that is also a tool in the system of white supremacy racism. Now I have because I live down south, I have heard racial epithets from these Anglos down here because they don't like Jewish people. They don't like some Italian people. They definitely don't like Asian people. They don't like Mexican people, and they got their own little racial epithets for them. But even down south, even though when it comes to the Anglo calling them racial epithets, them and the Anglo, they all call black people niggers and other stuff like that. That is kind of universal.
I just want to real quick. I just want to let you guys know that in the Asian community, they're now trying to put up this type of reference, like black people are attacking Asians and based upon their race, and it's a hate crime and all this type of stuff. And this Asian guy in Dallas who owns an insurance company put up a Black Lives Matter billboard in their Asian community. He got death threats from Asians saying that they were going to lynch him and all this type of stuff, that the sign was bringing a lot of attention to their area and this, that, and the other. And they are the biggest supplier. They are the people who get most of the black dollars. And they don't have a complaint then, but they actually gave this Asian man death threat for putting up a Black Lives Matter poster on a billboard.
Also, did you? We were somebody asked me what I thought about that little piece that I think her name is Jenny May or something. She's getting married to that rapper or whatever. She was talking about racial hierarchy.
Jeannie
What's her name again?
Jeannie Mai.
Okay, Jeannie Mai. And I felt like she was saying because there is some Asian peoples have been attacked in parts of the country. What she mean by racial hierarchy is if you're saying Black Lives Matter, shouldn't you be saying shouldn't you equally be addressing the fact that Asians' lives matter? But don't Asian lives matter too? That's what she's trying. She wants their issues to take precedence over the Black Lives Matter issues. But our issues have been going on since our people were brought over here, and we've been, ushered off the boat. The system of white supremacy racism has been on our backs to the point to where it's destroying this country. So I really felt that was her, her elitism or her privilege or her whatever it is that she got going on in her head, that she wants to supersede what we have undergone in this country for centuries, because of what's going on with them right now. And what's going on with them right now, it really is because of the Trump administration.
And also, where was her complaints when all these stories are going around about these Asian men beating up women in beauty supply stores and nail shops, locking them in, beating them up, and all these types of things? Where was her voice about the Asian community then? And then this All Lives Matter thing, where are the White Lives Matter people when there's white on white crime? The White Lives Matter people only show up when Black Lives Matter people have to protest what is done to them by this racist, oppressive system that we live under in the United States. They don't show up and say White Lives Matter when all this white on white crime, all these school shootings happen. Where's the White Lives Matter people at those protests when white people are killing white people? It's not about White Lives Matter. I'm sorry.
No, that's what I apologize. Well, can I jump in here real quick? Can y'all hear me?
So
yeah,
he's so rude.
I am RonyiQ. I didn't want to hear nothing you were saying. I'm just teasing. So earlier today, and I know I'm backtracking. And let me say this first. A lot of times there's things going on. I don't take no sides. When people start beefing back and forth, I go quiet. And there's a lot of times I don't have any emotions over certain things, what I consider silly things. This is worthy of emotion. Somebody said, well, why y'all get so emotional? This right here is worthy of emotions because these are things that affect us. And what I heard in that chat today made me so angry. It was like, did she really just say that? Once she said the nose and once she said the forehead, I could hear no more because that's all I needed to hear. that told me everything I needed to know about this Gigi person. I needed to hear no more. And I was annoyed that someone was trying to explain what she meant. No, let her keep talking so we can hear exactly what she's trying to say to us, and exactly what she means, and exactly what she believes. And yesterday in Duchess Kelly Love chat, we were discussing that one of the solutions to our community, the Black community's issue, is to no longer allow white people to dictate to us what is acceptable and what is okay. And when we allow them in our conversations about colorism, then we're allowing them once again, like they did way back when they first brought us over here, to tell us what is acceptable and what is okay, and what we should be upset about and what we should be not upset about. I don't think it wasn't my channel, and I know it wasn't my channel, but she shouldn't have been allowed in the conversation at all. When she came up there, it should have been one of those, hey, this is a us conversation, and now is not the time for you to interject or say anything right now, because we allow them to tell us too much what is acceptable. We talked about this yesterday. We talked about how, it was acceptable for Barack Obama and Kamala Harris to be in the White House because they're lighter and they're more acceptable. It's like, when we're going to move away from that, move away from letting somebody else tell us what is acceptable, and what we should be emotional, and what should be important to us. I was, they said, was anybody else upset? I was upset, and I said something in the chat about it. I said, what did she just say? And I wanted her to keep speaking, not for anybody. I wanted people to hear it. Don't try to cover up what she said. Don't try to explain what she said. Let her keep talking so we can know who she is.
I'm sorry, excuse me. So when this lady was talking like this, this was on Bless channel, right? She didn't cut her off?
No.
She
shocked because
explained that she didn't mean that.
He is Bless is usually totally against white people talking out of turns. I'm really shocked that she did not check
I really don't think she got it. I kind of think it went over her head, right, to be told. That's why I wanted to have the conversation. Because
it
really,
was so much going on. I don't think she caught it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, I think it went over her head, about the way that she was trying to word the whole thing and try to put it in the context of her family. She really tried to wrap it up in a tight little bow, but she really wasn't talking about her family. She was being racist as hell.
I think, and then she double talked, because first she said that her family would be very upset with her. Didn't she say that first? They would be very upset with her and disappointed with her if she said anything racist. Then she turned around and tried to act like they were racist.
Is this Gigi Johnson? This Gigi Johnson is in my chat. Is this the Gigi that we're talking about, y'all? I see somebody in her name, Gigi Johnson. Do y'all know if this is the person that we're talking about?
I don't see her.
That's the one that used to hang out at. Then yeah. Oh, wait a minute. What are you talking about? Are you blocked?
Oh, she said no. She said no. I thought it was just the one from this morning. That's what I thought it was.
But I don't think that Bless really heard fully what she said. But the only thing that bothered me is that when somebody did point it out, I didn't like that she said no. She was trying to say, I think that she should have said, repeat what you said, because by that time Gigi had caught what she said. Then she tried to clean it up.
Oh,
if you just listen to that very first part that Ronnie played, just go back to that after she said the nose, and then she starts describing the head, and she said that because of his head, he looked, in her opinion, he looked black, because she was talking in the in the self person. She was saying I and me. Then after they was like, after some people kind of started saying something in this chat, and then Sassy said something and they went back to her, that's when she said, I would be very upset. That's when she tried to switch it up. But if I'm not mistaken, it seemed like she was the same white person that said that if my family find out I'm saying anything racist, they would be very, unless that was the other chick. No, it wasn't, because she's claiming she's mixed. So it was Gigi that said my family would be very upset with me. But then she turned around out the same mouth and said that her family say racist things like that, the forehead and the nose and stuff.
Yeah. That's how I know she was telling a damn lie.
This is the Gigi. He's not mixed.
No, it was another lady that came on before her, Vegas girl. She came on and before her. And then Gigi came on, and I'm pretty sure it was Gigi that said, if I say anything racist, my family would be right upset. And then, not even a good minute later said something opposite of that. But I'm gonna hop off with that. I just wanted to say that this is a subject we get emotional over all kinds of things. We argue in the beef sector or all kinds of things and give a lot of energy to it. This is worth the energy. This is worth being emotional about. This is worth getting upset about because let me say one more thing about that word concerning whoever's son that was white saying they wanted to use that word. No, they don't have a right to use that word.
Hey, I can't believe Tom said that. He got some nerve. He said it was Tom Hanks' son.
Yeah, Tom
Hanks because that word didn't oppress his family.
Exactly.
That word didn't affect his family and how he move and walk in the world. So no, you can't say it.
No, you can't.
And I don't care how many black guys or black girls around you say it. No, sir, you can't say it. No, well, you can't.
His privilege has him in his feelings because he knows it's inappropriate for him to say, but because of his privilege, he feels like he don't understand why he can't say it. Just like his black friends say it to one another.
And that's the one that's wanted to be a rapper, and his he has a black daughter.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I think some of the problem with white people is that they feel like using the word for some people that I've talked to that were kind of discussing it said that using the word makes them let you know that they see you as equal to them. Like we're all the same people. I'm not oppressing you. I'm cool with you. I'm a friend with you. Y'all use it as a friendly term. I want to use it as a friendly term. I was like, no. I never talked to somebody who said they wanted to use it themselves, but I'm saying I talked to people who talked about that was the reason why people feel like white people want to use it. And that's like, however you want to use it. What's so wrong with being told no? That's just that's just you're obsessed with that because you're told you can't have it or use it. So they have a kind of a unhealthy obsession with the word as well.
Oh, not only obsession with the word, obsession with us in general. They simply could not. You hear these people talking something. We're going to, race war and racial cleansing and all of this and all. They simply could not. They would destroy one another because they would have us to obsess over. They simply cannot do what they. Why do you think that we can't even have our own communities in peace? We can't even have our own continent in peace. Do you see what I'm saying? They always got to be up in even on YouTube. You can't even have a discussion on colorism within your own community without somebody not in your community popping up there and wanting to interject.
Yeah, and I just don't understand what she could have even added to that conversation.
I don't understand it either. There were a lot of women on the panel. I think that there was one woman up there. I heard Jessica B in particular. I think I heard Bless. So I guess everybody up there was talking about their experience when it came to colorism, which is a very important conversation to have amongst Black people because it has plagued our community. We discriminate against one another based upon a line of color. The paper bag, and all of this and all of that. That is a very important discussion, a conversation to have. What she could contribute to that conversation is beyond me. So yeah, I didn't understand that right there. So I was confused by it. So yeah.
RonyiQ left. I appreciate you having this conversation. I actually miss when you used to sprinkle these conversations in. I miss them.
Yeah, I just got tired. I got tired of pretty much fighting an uphill battle, but I had to say something about it today because that was a bit much to me. I'm thinking that I guess that in my mind, I'm thinking surely they don't understand what it is that this fool is saying to them right up in their face. I guess they don't get it. It's over their head, so I had to come on and say something about it. I was like, wow. That was a bit much.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch your video from the beginning. I've been in and out, so that's why I missed the beginning of it. Because I'm really that's why I was like I'm shocked that Bless didn't check her because Bless will check a lot of white people in the sector that try to jump in and talk and join a conversation. So, but you said she didn't miss what was going on because I was like that's weird that she would she would do
Yeah, I
that.
think it
But
just went over her head. Like honestly, I'm just gonna say it went over her head. You know, that's how I'm a
yeah, but
it's
your point is
over.
still valid. That woman should have known herself not to even get up there.
She knew.
Then
She knew. She
never
did it on purpose.
That's
Mm.
crazy. That's
Yeah, she
crazy.
did it
But
on
okay,
purpose. Hmm.
I'm still errands. I'm about to run back in the grocery store.
Okay,
I
thank you.
appreciate the conversation and thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
No problem. Going back in the chat.
Okay, thank you, love.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Cloud said, I made a mistake. Please unblock mail dot it. I will, Cloud, but I have to do it. I'm on my phone. I have to do it when I get off here. I wanted to answer a question. The comments. Truth Reveal said this is one thing that pull us together. But when Gigi and them whites disappear, we go back to turning each other down daily. Child, here's the thing about that. Why is it that we can't have discourse? Because a lot of time in our communities, this is how we communicate with one another. That is historical as well. So I don't see anything wrong with us having discourse with one another. The problem with what in lies the problem is the interlopers. When you got interlopers interjecting because they feel entitled to interject, that is a problem. That is the reason why I'm having this conversation. I'm just saying. You unblocked them already? Okay, thank you, Cloud. Lex said, hey Lex said, you can do it from your phone. Oh, okay. All right. Uh Lady Tia said, this is why this is why I walk with you. We always had a real discussion. Yeah, Lex, I ain't had this type of discussion in a long time. And so, but I really had to, aside from everything else that was going on, because I heard the conversation get sidetracked, and they got off onto everything else. But this conversation right here, is what I wanted to have. Did you see what I'm saying? I wanted to let everybody know what it was that she said, in case they didn't understand, in case that no, Cloud, please hit the link, in case they didn't get what it was that what was going on. No, Ronnie didn't finish the audio. Maybe she'll come back in a few. It just got kind of busy up around the panel for a second there, but maybe she'll come back. Yeah, Cloud, hit the link. I just dropped it. Let me drop it again for you. Hold on one second. I'll drop it again. But yeah, and anybody, like I said, this is an open panel, and y'all welcome to hit this link if you have something that you would like to add to the conversation, darling. Okay. This might be Cloud. Yeah, it is Cloud. Oop, what happened? Cloud? Shoot, what did I do? I can't. Okay, I'm ready to screw up. Hold on. Shoot. Cloud, I think it's some Cloud is I'm trying to click Cloud on y'all, but I think his internet is messing up. It's saying edit name. What does that mean? I can't. Cloud won't let me click you on. Can you go out and come back in? Look. Oh, here we go. Cloud. Oh, let me try it again. Hold on. Cloud. Okay, y'all. His internet. Go out and come back in. Look. Oh, here we go.
Oh, I was hoping not to be seen, but okay.
Cloud. Okay, y'all. You got to turn down your device.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
Okay, I had to turn down the other device. Oh my goodness. I was actually trying. First of all, thank you so much for allowing me to join. I apologize. My voice is still not great, and I want to thank everybody for their prayers and positive thoughts as well. My mother-in-law is doing a lot better, and I just want to thank you guys so much for everything.
Okay, Cloud, you going in and out, love, and we want to hear everything that you feel. But I'm glad you feeling better.
Yeah, it's probably my cold. Thanks a lot again. Can you hear me better now?
I can, sir. I can.
All right. I love these conversations, and it's crazy when you hear people it's always people outside of our nation that always wants to chime in.
Yeah.
We are the only race of people who get chastised and told how to act and what to do for our own selves. And it's ridiculous. And I know that it goes back to the slavery and Willie Lynch and things of that nature. I understand that. And it actually goes deeper than that, but that's another story. But here we are in 2021. And I know there's been a lot of talk about Meghan Markle and the so-called royal. And listen, no matter how I feel about Meghan Markle, and at the end of the day, it's not really about Meghan Markle. It's about every other Black woman that has gone through that they have gone through. It's really not about this Meghan Markle. It goes deeper than that.
Right.
But of course, people like that clown Piers Morgan quit Good Morning Britain, so what? And if you followed him, you know he's been this way for years.
Yeah, he's obsessed over Meghan.
And he's obsessed over Black people. I used to see him in Britain's Got Talent. It's just like America's Got Talent because it was started by the same guy, Simon Cowell. And he's another low key one, but that's another story. That's the thing that kills me. See, the Piers Morgans of the world, I'm used to them. I prefer my racists like that. People like Morgan, Donald Trump.
Yeah, up front. Yeah, right.
That's how I want my racists. The ones that I can't stand, and if you remember, that's what Malcolm X tried to warn our people about, the so-called liberal. When you look at the Bill Mowers of the world, I don't trust him as far as I can throw.
No, that's
There's
right.
guys like Jim Crow Joe. And when listen, and a lot of this is our fault because we don't do the homework. We rely on other people to do it for us. And that's why we end up a lot of times being like hamsters in a wheel.
Yeah.
Because we're expecting, well, they'll do it for us. Maybe if I listen to so-and-so, man, you know what? The best researcher is yourself. Or at least, and you know that. It does get frustrating.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Pride. I agree with you. That's why I told you a long time ago I stopped having the conversations because it's frustrating because I just don't understand the mentality coming out of some of us. You know what I mean? And so yeah. And I just chalk it up to ignorance. I just chalk it up to people not knowing the history. And even but you also have a right to, to feel the way you feel. I can't it just is what it is, child. I don't know, Cloud, but I get tired. I got tired. That's all I know.
You know
can also get vilified for trying to share your own history to your own people. You can be vilified for doing that. And everything that I say on my videos, I always, or you just, this for yourself because you've been with me forever. I always urge people to go back and do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Go do your own research. Read for yourself. And so, yeah. But it's very frustrating. But I had to have this discussion today. I couldn't let that slide, Cloud. That stuff I heard up there, I was like, what? Child, it was too much.
I didn't see any of it, to be quite honest. Obviously, I've been busy, looking after my wife and her mother. I've been very busy. But I've tried to look at I've tried to be in and out as much as I can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over this list.
I hate that you're breaking up, Cloud, because we really want to hear what you got to say, but you break it up.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It ain't your fault. It's killing me though, because I want to hear every word.
And plus, my voice isn't the greatest, and that has, I know, something to do with it.
But your voice is fine. It's just the fact that whichever way your signal is going, this afternoon or whatever, But let me ask you this real fast, if I could just burn out the subject for a second, because I also want to ask you, what do you feel about the issue of colorism as it pertains to our community, of course, because we're the only ones that have this issue, okay? But what is going on with Cuomo? They're trying to get him out of there.
Hey, listen, you know what? And I've said this a million times, and here goes 1,000,001. Whether it's the left wing or the right wing, it's the same filthy bird.
Right.
Because doesn't Cuomo sound a lot like 45 right about now?
He does now. Yes, he does. And I thought 45 was the one trying to get him out of there so he could come back to New York.
Remember, he is from New York. They're both New Yorkers.
I know, right?
They're both from Queens. But that's another chapter in another book, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, he's been full of it. He's nothing like his father, Mario Cuomo, who was the governor of New York years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I just told my age on that one. That was about the late 80s for George Pataki. But see, Cuomo tried to do the mob ties. Excuse me. The mob ties deal while he's trying to bully everybody.
Mm.
And see, New York City is in a huge crisis.
Mm.
Because, and at the risk of sounding New York City arrogant, but I'm just telling the straight truth. And this city has gone down significantly. I'm not going to sit up here and say, well, New York is great, this, that, and the third. New York is like every other city, but there is one big difference. New York, whether America likes it or not, New York City is still the financial capital of the world.
Oh, absolutely.
And when New York suffers, this whole country is suffering because we have two incompetent leaders. Cuomo and de Blasio, first off, have hated each other for years. This is nothing new. Anybody who's from New York City knows this. Those two cannot stand each other. And I don't know whether it's an Italian, listen, because remember they are both Italians. And you know how, listen, the same way they speak on us, let's keep it a buck. And Giuliani is as well. And listen, the Italians run New York. They run New York City, always have, always will. The Italians and the Jews run New York. And those two have had such a feud over the years. Now they've been sniping back and forth in the paper. And you know what? If looking back at everything now, remember, Cuomo was engaged to an actress named Sandra Lee, and she fought breast cancer and survived it. Now, instead of being by his side, allegedly, he would be stepping in and out. And in fact, she moved out because she was living with Cuomo in Albany, in the Albany mansion. But she moved out about 2 years ago, I want to say. I'm not sure on that, but I was wondering, wow, they seem like they had such a good relationship because they were together for a while. But now, when you see all of this come out, and listen, is the timing funny? You could say that because it is funny how they waited until after the fact. But to me, that shouldn't be the issue anyway. The issue is that he lied about the amount of deaths in these nursing homes and the amount of elderly people who die in nursing homes. That should be the issue. That's a Me Too, and we know that Me Too has been a witch hunt half the time. And I'm not saying all of them are lying, because obviously I wasn't there. And I wouldn't put it past this guy because he bullies everybody. And it's been like that. And that's come out as well, where he has bullied people in the New York Senate and in the representatives of New York, whether it's the state or the city. But now it's come out as a real blood feud because de Blasio is throwing him under the bus. And listen, de Blasio's no great shakes either, because he's one of those guys, he tries to please everybody by doing things halfway, and he pleases nobody. He refuses to take a stand. But it's really come to fruition with these two guys because they've been sniping in the news back and forth. And meanwhile, you know, the COVID-19 thing has actually gotten a lot better in this city. The only scary thing is there's another half of the city's COVID cases are a different variant that has started in New York. And that could be a dilemma later on. So that's going to be interesting to see how this goes about over these next few weeks. But yeah, there's been a lot of craziness in New York City and New York State.
Yeah, I know. You know, COVID has, you know, pretty much stagnated everybody's economy in everybody's city and county and, you know, and whatever. You know what I mean? But let me ask you this, Cloud. So, what do you think about the conversation that we had today? In particular, the comments coming from the Gigi person on the panel about the forehead and the nose and the this and the that.
You know, back in the day, I don't know how far you go back. Hip Prop called Quest, and Q-Tip made that statement, black is black. And I mean, that's how I've always been taught, and I've always felt, listen, whether it's so-called light skin, so-called dark skin, this, that, and the third, at the end of the day, we're all black people.
Yep.
All have been through the struggle.
Yep.
Now, all this stuff, that's the Willie Lynch papers yet again. And if you, I mean, and we've had, we've talked about, not literally talked about it, but I remember you've done videos on this, and I've done videos on it too. You know, the light against the dark.
Right.
The
Lady P, is that? Wait a minute, Cloud. Lady P, is that really you?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, I just checking. I didn't want no trouble. You know how folks like to get naked on camera and stuff. Sorry about that, Cloud. I ain't want to see no pain up in here. Go ahead, Cloud.
But it's all division. I mean, and it's sad because now the so-called Caucasian doesn't even have to do anything. We have divided and conquered each other so bad.
That's deep.
To the point where, I mean, and it's downright pathetic. I mean, look at the way some of, and obviously, I never do anything in absolutes, but some of the people from the African continent, look at the way they talk about us, talk down to us, Black American. Look at them, they lazy, they shiftless. How can we be lazy when we built an entire country for free? So that kills that. And whatever gains that everybody else has got has been off the backs of our people. And if we ever even think about talking about reparations, we're so-called asking for a handout. Are you kidding me? That's not a handout. Excuse me. That is services rendered. That is no different from when someone passes away in your family and you inherit that land. We inherited that 40 acres and a mule that we've been owed for centuries. And I don't think we do a good enough job in fighting for our reparations. And it doesn't help when you have a so-called black president who said at first that I'm not even going to speak on reparations. And now he's trying to change his tune. Yeah. You had 8 years and did absolutely nothing. Oh well. We'll just see what happens. But we can't just talk about it. We have to fight for it. And I don't know how many people are willing to pay the price to do that. Because it's one thing to talk about it on YouTube or make a couple of videos about it, but it's another thing to put in the work and talk to others and try and galvanize others. How many people are really willing to do that?
I absolutely agree. And then also, they've had every time, we have to, we have an incident like a George Floyd incident or something like that. They'll try to have these congressional hearings on talking about reparations in tandem with the Black Lives Matter conversations from A to Z under the, that's what I mean by Black Lives Matter conversations from A to Z. And they have these hearings for a while. Things calm down in the streets, and you hear nothing from it until the next incident. And so all they want to do is pacify us, but it is our fault because we allow ourselves to be pacified. But let me let Lady T, thanks for joining us.
Hey, how you doing? So I came up here when you all were talking about that lady who intruded on the conversation, and for me, a lot of this stuff, you'd be surprised how much of this stuff is embedded from slavery, including things like the slave codes of 1780, where they were told that wherever, I think it was 6 of us were gathered, one of them had to be there. And, the same way, like a lot of the stuff that trickled down in us, like down through us, and how it shows up in our communication and how we interact with each other and how we handle certain things. It trickles down, down their line as well to feel as if, they are entitled to be a part of these conversations. Like it's about that entitlement. It's about that privilege. It's hard to be invited to a cookout when you think you're hosting it. You know what I'm saying? And we keep talking about, invite them. You invited to the cookout. No, I'm hosting this cookout. You know what I mean? And here I am. So I think that's where a lot of it comes from.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. You're absolutely right about that. The slave codes, a lot of the stuff that we allow ourselves, we second guess ourselves even to this day. We saw a lot of that on a panel today because that one person that interjected herself in the conversation, she was paid a lot of respect, in my opinion, up on that panel. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was listening to you.
I felt like she was she was afforded a lot of respect, whereas somebody else saying those same things may not have been afforded that type of respect. And I think that a lot of some people don't even realize that they're doing it. But yeah, we don't need no overseers around here.
Yeah, but see, we can't even fathom having that kind of mindset because we all sat there and watched that whole insurrection at the Capitol in awe. Like, wow, like you could do that. Like, we like just like we all had that moment of like, well, damn,
Yeah.
Like it's not even in our thought space.
Yeah.
Move like
we
that.
We could not even imagine trying to storm the Capitol.
Exactly. We can't even imagine it. So that goes to show you basically, we just don't have that kind of mindset where we just feel like we're welcome to everything because we feel, as if we are not welcome to anything. You know what I mean? So, I'm not excusing her or anything like that by no means. I'm just saying she thinks completely different than we do. We would not go up into a conversation amongst Jewish people about a situation going on in their community, hop up on the panel and have a thing to say, except make a question. You know what I'm saying?
She feels emboldened to do that, Lady T, because you saw people caping for her. When you have a conversation about colorism amongst people of color, and then you get interloper up there, and then she's gonna say all this stuff, and they're gonna start defending her. That is what emboldens her privilege to jump on these panels and interject herself in these types of conversations. And that is why it is cause we allow it. I don't know if we unconsciously allow it or we overtly allow it, but it is allowed. And that is, I'm glad you said it, because that is in part why I'm having this conversation today. Why is it allowed? I don't allow it on my channel, and it's absolutely your right. If you feel like you want to allow that sort of thing, you have absolutely a right to do that. But you have to, but my thing is, you must realize why you are doing or allowing a thing to happen. Why are you doing this? Why are you allowing it? Is it out of sheer ignorance? Is it out of fear? Is it because you have been taught via this system of white supremacy racism that they should be afforded allowed to do these sorts of things, like interject their what it is that they have to say in our own conversations? Now, I've seen this lady interlope in a whole lot of conversations that she has absolutely nothing to do with, especially when it comes to talking about color. Like, she totally disrupted the whole conversation of colorism and turned it into a whole lot of racist content, a whole lot of racist undertoned conversation, in my opinion. And that is another reason why I want to have the conversation. But I agree.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry. This will be real quick. Well, white privilege is like cocaine. It's a hell of a drug. But also, part of that is because we have PTSD. Mm-hmm. We have post-traumatic slavery disorder. Mm-hmm. And we haven't really broken the mental chains of slavery because it's been talked around, but not talked about.
And the thing that I think that we miss a lot of times is that PTSD is not just being experienced by Black people; it's also being experienced by white people as well. Now, when I say that, I mean to say, or what I'm saying is, they like, if they were to break the laws in regards to them slave codes, the penalty for them was hanging as well. When they broke those codes, and when things like that get trickled down into your family, into your bloodline or whatever, into your DNA, and then it's being trickled down on our end as well, that's how come we're communicating the way that we're communicating present day. It's all a part of the sickness. You know what I mean? Now, we're not experiencing the privileges of our hard work back then. Very, very, very little. It's not even worth mentioning. But what I'm saying is, they experienced it right alongside us. They were told not to do this, not to do that. If you do this, if you allow this Black person to do this, if you allow that Black person to do that, this is your penalties. This is your, this is the law. The law was across the land. You know what I mean? And it just creates this whole privilege to where you don't even realize that you are actually, well, some of them do. You don't actually realize you're the minority in this world. You think you own it. You know what I mean? You're walking around with this kind of mindset that you run this and you own it and you're welcome to everything and everything is yours, including our conversations.
Because that's what they're taught.
And there will always be a fiddler in our midst. Y'all know fiddler, right?
Yep, I agree. Unfortunately,
always gonna be a fiddler. So
yeah, I know fiddlers, and also what's that Hill guy who what's that Bill who got Fred Hampton killed, the FBI idiot. That's a fiddler.
But here's the thing: is we spend too much time. See, we see we know that the way we see the world is directly opposite of the way that they see the world, even though the system of white supremacy works against the average everyday white person. Even then they afforded you can be a bum on the street. You can be a white man, a bum on the street, and you can feel more superior than the richest black man in the world. And if the two should ever meet up in the same place, that bum white man, that homeless white man would be afforded more respect in certain circles than that rich black man. See, that is the issue. And our problem is we spend too much time trying to be concerned about what it is that's being done to them in a derogatory manner as it is opposed to us dealing with us. But but in the meantime, even though what's being done to them is being done to them, they still continue to be concerned about how we are advancing, how we are trying to change, and how and we spend too much time apologizing for their woes and not enough time, trying to figure out what it is that's going on with us. And so I understand what you're saying, but we have to. It's unfortunate that we can't seem to move out of the space of the apologetic space. We always have to be the ones that have to be caring and compassion. You see this all the time. A white person or wrong a black person or kill a black person. You have to. Well, I forgive you. I forgive you. You killed my son, but I forgive you.
Who was that?
You got
Botham John?
my job, but I forgive you.
Like that judge that hugged that. What was her name? The one who shot that.
That was oh God, Geiger, Amber Geiger.
Geiger, like that judge that hugged Geiger and gave her a Bible and all this other stuff. Like, girl, like what? Like that was just.
That family did that too. The Botham John, that family, the brother. I thought they must have really hated their brother.
Well, they didn't really hate the brother. They
must have I mean, that's just how I was feeling.
I don't think that's a new thing. I think that it goes back to what Miss Olivia is saying, to where it's this inherent need to help out this damsel in distress, this docile human being who is incapable of cultivating land, so they have to go snatch us up to take care of it for them. Like, that's always been our place. I don't think the sad part about it is, I don't think it had anything to do with their relationship with that their brother. The sad part is that was innate. You know what I mean? That was innate and embedded in that. We're Christians and all that other stuff. I've seen it time and time and time.
That's not the God I serve, but I know what you're saying. But that's certain. And that also lets you know that they're not reading their Bible correctly. But that's another story.
Right.
Because the last Jesus also said, I came not to bring peace, but a sword. That's there as well. But if we continue to listen to the pork chop preacher who's telling you what Bible verses to read so he can get paid, then we're going to get what we continue to get. Because let's face it, the black church has failed us over the last 30
the black church is dead.
Have failed us tremendously.
The black church is dead. We no longer have it used to be a bedrock, our foundation. That is days gone by. We no longer, in my opinion, have a bedrock or a foundation in the black community. And we all know that is because of integration, and how they turn integration around on us. It was meant to dismantle the black community. But those are days of old. So I agree with you on that, Claude. Yeah,
I'm gonna hop off, but I just want to say something. And not only buy black, Queen Callie, continue to buy black. Don't patronize the business one time and feel like you know what I did it. You understand what I'm saying? Keep going back. Keep shopping with them. It can't just be like a one-time thing. I did my part. You know what I mean? You gotta keep the business you gotta keep the business afloat. Anyway, y'all have a beautiful rest of the night. I'm out. Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Lady T. Thank you so much.
Lady T. All right. I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye. But yeah, Claude, we just really have to learn how to not be apologetic and not even care about somebody else's plight anymore. We spend too much time worrying about everybody else. as opposed to worrying about ourselves. That's how I feel about it. You know.
I totally agree. We need to look inward before we can do anything outward.
Right.
And
Right.
we've done that for so long. You know, that is we do have that slave mentality, and it's sad. A lot of us, not obviously not all of us,
Right.
but it's very sad when you look at people like a coon dance. Excuse me.
That's why
I'm gonna
you
get
have
off of here soon because my voice is shot.
It's all
But
right,
people
but
like
that mentality, is why, you know, what went on today, on that panel went on today on that panel, you know. And so, yeah, I agree with you. That whole mentality right there. That is why it is allowed. That's why you see, even though we have been offended, you know, on a base level, you still feel like you need to protect or explain away what it is that you just heard. Either you didn't understand what you heard, or you heard it, you didn't want to accept it, or you know, you just want to let it go because it made you feel uncomfortable. You know, and so that is why I wanted to have the conversation. You know, and so yeah. That's my issue.
But I totally agree.
You know, but like you know, I don't like to have these conversations no more, Cloud, because you know, pro-black Olivia, she's a fake, she's a phony, she's a fraud, but she ain't let nobody come up on her panel, no interloper come up on her panel and call her people monkey and say and talk about nigger knocking and all of this and all that. She ain't doing that, but okay.
Yeah, well, they know where to go because they know it won't be tolerated.
Right.
You know, you're not going to tolerate it.
Right.
I mean, cousin Brandy's not going to tolerate it.
Right.
DG Girl TV's not going to tolerate it. Lady Tia's not going to tolerate it.
But I really didn't want to have this conversation today, but oh Lord, Carter, I just could not. I said I got to say something. Just this one time, Lord, I don't want to step in, but I got to step in.
Hey, listen, you have to do what you have to do. You have to protect your platform. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
I couldn't believe that they let that go over their head like it. I just couldn't believe that they let it go unchecked. You know, and so yeah, I don't know if you heard the audio that RonyiQ was playing when she was up here, but you know, it was a Anglo on Bless Watkins panel, and she was essentially calling black people monkeys, and they had big noses, and it was a lot going on with that. But
where were
what
her
she did
mods?
was, huh?
Where were her mods?
Oh no, I guess it went over their head. Like they were defending her or whatever. Like I'm thinking they didn't understand. They felt like she was really talking about one of her family members, but she wasn't talking about her family members. That is not what was going on. And so for that reason, I just had to, you know, fire up the video and let everybody know. Well, look, this is what she said. Now, if you still want to defend her after we have the discussion about what she actually said, that's on you. You know, because you have to.
You know, someone is still going to.
Oh, absolutely. They probably have a challenge about what I heard. I heard that I've been getting dragged already since I've been online having a discussion about it.
I mean that. I mean, you know what? Some 2/3 of us aren't going to make it.
Oh, absolutely.
But that's another chapter in another book as well. I'm gonna get off of here. My voice is shot.
Okay, Claude.
I appreciate you so much.
All right, I appreciate you too. Thanks for coming up.
All right, take care.
And joining us. Take care around there in New York. Mr. New Yorker.
Oh, goodness.
But yeah, so guys, if nobody else wants to come up and say anything, I dropped the link one more time. I will just drop down. I'll close out the live, but I really had to. I couldn't help myself. Like I said, I don't have these conversations anymore. You know, I don't like to have them over here in particular, but I had to say something. I couldn't help it. I couldn't let that slide. You know, like I really couldn't, you know. Tiff Love said a lot of black people are in a sunken place. Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I agree. I've been reading what you been saying, Queen Callie, you on point. Was it Can't Hide? What's her name? She was Can't Hide been on point as well. Miss Olivia, I truly enjoyed this conversation. The whole panel was black excellent. I would love to hear more conversations like this on your panel. Really? Thank you, Trolly Troll. I appreciate it because at one point in time, child, they didn't want me talking about this over here. So I just stopped talking about it. I got tired of fighting my own people about having conversations about black people. So yeah, enjoy it, everyone. Good night, Lady Tears. Thanks for joining us. We need more of these conversations. Wow, y'all are. I am going to check out the. Thank you, EJ. I'm too wild for your panel. I'm articulate, but girl, you are not. Honey, Queen Callie, you're not too wild for my panel. No, you're not. If you want to come up here and speak your piece, please feel free to do so. You're not too wild for my panel, honey. You just have not heard a lot of my old videos, probably. And so, yeah, like I said, I stopped. I stopped having these conversations because nobody wanted to hear them, and so yeah. But yeah, and it gets draining, trying to convince other black people to be proud of their blackness, or defend their blackness, or just maybe share some history. Sorry about that, guys. I got knocked off my own chat. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, good night, Lady T. Oh Lord, I got a phone call. Thanks for joining us. I guess I'm gonna get off here, y'all. Nobody wants to answer. But no, Queen Callie, you are not too radical for me, honey, at all. Okay. But we will do this again if y'all want to. You know, I agree, can't hide. When I first came over here, I was saying that same thing, and nobody wanted to hear it. Folks didn't appreciate it. You know, Queen Callie said, I just started watching you since a week ago, but I'm a subscriber for life. Thank you, Queen Callie. Please go back and look at some of my old videos, Queen Callie. I got some really good content. It might not seem like it, but all of my content is not beef sector content, and I bet you'll like some of it, Queen Callie. I bet you really would. Thanks, Auntie, again for this. I apologize for my bad internet. No, Cloud, thank you for joining up. Thank you for coming up. Thank you, RonyiQ. Thanks for playing that audio, Ronnie. And I hope that you got to say everything that you wanted to say on the subject. Because I felt like you was, being sidetracked and interrupted before. But you had your stance was strong, and you was absolutely right about, where you stood when it came to the conversation, Ronnie. And so yeah. And so yeah. So yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you, Juan. Thank you for letting me know. Because, I wanted you to, get out what it is that you wanted to say. That's another reason why I wanted to have the conversation. But like I said, thanks, First Lady of YouTube, Steve Austin, Miss Olivia. You a stateless subby. Well, I don't know what that means. But anyway, I'm gonna get off here, y'all. I didn't even realize it was 8 o'clock, but I wasn't even supposed to come live today, Chad. I had no intention, okay? But after I heard this stuff today, I had to click the live button. I didn't have a thanks, Nikki Sav. I didn't have a choice but to click the live button. Because like I said, I don't do this content no more. It caused too much trouble around here for me. So yeah, it just is what it is. Regina M says, it's always um, it will always be disagreements amongst our people, absolutely blacks, because we are a broken people due to systemic racism and trauma. But that should never stop the conversation. You're absolutely right about that. And sometimes through chaos, you can find some sort of common ground or some sort of peace. That's why like I said, I don't mind coming over here beefing and whatever, because a lot of the times this is the way that we communicate with one another, and where it gets me is people try to silence your voice because I have this conversation over here about the plight of our people, especially in this country, but then they'll throw it up in your face and say, you fake, you phony, or fraud, you supposed to be pro-black. then why you beefing with somebody? Cause number one, it's my people, and number two, it's the beef sector. But that doesn't negate my blackness or my stance on, our situation in this country, or even throughout the diaspora. That doesn't do anything. That's not concerning my stance just because I'm beefing with you. What does that have to do with what I'm saying? And so they try to weaponize my pro-blackness and use it as a weapon against me. Yeah, you're right about that, Lexi. That's why I said I got tired. I can't have these conversations no more. And so but it made me feel good when some of y'all say that y'all would like to hear more of these types of conversations, because I used to have these types of conversations all the time, but like Lady T, I got tired of it being weaponized. It is what it is. And it's unfortunate. But it is what it is. But still, no interlopers allowed. Yeah, that ain't gonna never change. Can't hide. What y'all saw up on that panel today, that would never happen on a panel of mine, okay? Never ever would have happened on a panel of mine. It's just not. It won't happen. Can't hide. But yep. Another intriguing and passionate live. Thank you, Gwen Star. Lady Tia said, it's been a hard fight, and we are still off course. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree. Yep, it is a family affair. Damn it. I agree with you. Can't hide. You told the truth about that, baby. Oh, yes, you did. That's how I see it, too. That is exactly how I see it. Ooh, that you spoke a word right there, child. Yes, you did. We're supposed to love everyone and everything except our black says. Let them tell it, Cloud. You're right. Thanks for hitting the replay. Queen Kelly says I prefer this over the beef. If that's that funny. The beef is funny. That's all. The beef is just funny to me. It's child's play to me, child. It don't. Bye bye. It's highly entertaining to me. Okay, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's so I feel you. You're absolutely right. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get off of here. You guys have a nice night. Enjoy the rest of your night. I know a lot of folks got to get up and go to work in the morning. A lot of folks got to either go to school or get their kids ready for school in the morning. And absolutely, thank you, Cloud, so much for. Y'all know Cloud don't hardly ever click that link. I want to thank everybody that clicked the link, tonight and jumped on and spoke their piece. You know what I mean? I thought it was a very adult conversation, and so I was proud of that because I wanted to have the real conversation as opposed to, just, getting sidetracked. I didn't want that to happen. And in my opinion, that is what was accomplished. And for that, I thank you guys so much. If you, click that link, thank you so much. Dysfunctional family, and we share experiences as a race, the discrimination, the pain, and struggle. It wasn't her lane. Yes, it wasn't her lane. I absolutely agree. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I don't know who that is. If somebody want to log on, click on y'all, they click the link, but I don't know who they are. I don't even recognize their name. So whoever you are, you won't be joining because I don't know you. And you got some stuff playing in the background, and I don't even see your face, but I see a TV or something. Anyway, move right along. But let me read a couple more of these. Shell, you have Shell like Shell. I love Shell. Who is that? Somebody said they want to apply for. I'm going to apply for citizenship. Oh, okay. Thanks, Queen Callie. Shell said thanks for having. You're more than welcome, Shell. Thanks for jumping on the panel. Because I know you was. I hope you was able to express what it is that you wanted to express. As well, Shell. Without being sidetracked. Because, like I said, it's a very important conversation. And that is the only reason why I had to have the conversation. It was a lot. It was too much that was not being said. And so but you was trying to hold it down, Shell, and keep it together. You did good. Uh-huh. So I appreciate that too. But anyway, I'm going to get off here, y'all. I love you guys so much, and thanks for joining me. Thanks for saying you guys liked this. Thank you, Queen Callie. I thank you guys for liking this conversation that we had this evening. Like I said, I don't do this no more, but I feel like it was important to do it tonight. Okay, and if you guys want to, we will do it again. You know, if that's what you guys want. You know, and so and it is not my. I'm not trying to impose my, you know, my thought processes on anybody. You know, but some stuff, you know, go over people's heads. And if I can shed some light on a certain thing, especially when it comes to us, that's what I'm gonna do. You know, and that's what I did. And so yeah. All right, so I'm gonna get off here for the last time. Y'all please hit that like button on the way out the door if you haven't. Please hit that subscribe button and consider hitting that subscribe button if you haven't, and even that share button if you want to. All right, I love you guys. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Night night. Peace.